Well, hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Square the Circle Music Channel. That's right, you made it back for more fun and games with your old pal Mage. That's right, that's me. We're going to talk about circles and squares tonight, record collecting and music appreciation and all that fun shit. Um, Wanted to say again, of course, head on over to my Instagram page. That's Square the Circle Records on Instagram. Give me some hearts and check out some of my pictures and shit, and become a fan or whatever. Like and subscribe to all my videos, and scroll back through my history and check out some of the shit I talk about in the past. I've been on YouTube for about a year now, and it's been a wild ride. So thanks again for joining me this evening, everybody, and anybody. Whoever you may be, morning, noon, or night, you're stuck now. So here we go. We're going to talk about my unpopular opinion. Again, this is going to be episode number 3 in the installment I like to do, where I like to do some good-natured ribbing, some shit-talking, so to speak. So yeah, we're going to get into some of my unpopular opinions this evening, centered around shit I hate, to speak quite freely. More or less really just stuff that I feel is just really not great music, and I just wanted to kind of chuckle about it a little bit and not be too hateful or condescending. But these are bands that I feel are just terrible. They're just terrible bands, and I myself grit my teeth every time I hear them, and I'm sure a lot of other people do. But like I said, not in the spirit, not mean-spirited or nasty by nature or whatever. I'm not gonna just like go off on a diatribe of hate. That's not really my point. But like I've mentioned before to some people, I've commented and have commented to me and this and that. This is just for fun. This is just an opinion video, and I'm just trying to like kind of do a bit, you know what I mean, and just kind of like sprinkling it with a little bit of comedy, and just trying to have some fun. So please, everyone, don't think that I'm just like this mean-spirited fuck that's out there just to like shit all over your favorite music. That's partly what I'm here for, but not entirely. Just kidding around. So here's my top 10 most terrible bands of all time. Most terrible of all time. And just to get specific with it here, I want to take it to a specific place, because throughout rock and roll history, there's been some pretty cringy shit. And it's always been out there, and it always will be out there. But I really wanted to talk about a period in time that I'm kind of from, and a period in time which I feel, in my opinion, was the worst era in rock and roll history. And of course, again, the term era can be very, very, it's a very loose term, kind of just tossed around. An era can be anything from, a millennia to just a few years. So I'm going to speak specifically of a 6-year period in rock and roll history, which I call an era because it just so happens, in my opinion, to have spawned some of the most terrible bands of all time, terrible rock bands of all time. So we're talking specifically about rock music today. And that 6-year period of which I speak is, I'm sure you all can guess, I'm thinking like 1997 to 2003. So like 6 years spanned, just kind of fresh out of like the 90s era of alt rock, and things were creative and cool, and then suddenly just started taking this fucking nosedive. I'm talking kind of in the popular scene, like the stuff that you saw young people listening to more and more, what you were seeing on the radio, MTV, blah, blah, blah. Obviously everybody knows MTV started turning into absolute trash as well. So you couldn't count on anything on, MTV anymore, of giving you anything, worthwhile to listen to or watch. And even the radio waves were getting, bastardized and awful. And some of even the deeper bastions, even like college radio and just all your friends and all these kids and they were just listening to this just fucking trash. So here we go. Let's talk about it. 1997 to 2003, the 10 most terrible rock bands. Starting at number 10, one that I'm sure you could all guess might be on this list if you know anything about me, but Like I said, I don't want to be hateful, and I know this is a sensitive topic for a lot of people in a lot of different ways, not just personally speaking out about the individual, but the subject matter, very sensy, and I do get it. So I'm not going to be like completely insensitive here, but let's talk about Linkin Park. For real, dude. Linkin Park is probably one of the most terrible bands I have ever heard. Well, they're number 10 on my top 10 list. Talk about cookie cutter, whiny ass, just regurgitated horse shit. Musically speaking, it's just so contrived and so boring. This new metal sound that was coming from like the mid 90s, and one of those things that just could be like, shattered and reflected into a million different, colors in the spectrum. It's like, what does that mean? New metal? I don't know. But the predominance of the shit on this list is going to be kind of that ilk. So be prepared for it. But yeah, like I said, Linkin Park, just contrived, whiny ass bullshit. The gentleman who, I believe he committed suicide. Unfortunate to hear about that. No one ever likes to say anything about that because it's awful. And I'm sure, everyone knows people suffer. And I'm terribly sorry about that. But just so happens that the dude screamed and squealed for one of the shittiest fucking rock bands ever. Sorry to say it, but the lyrics were just as contrived and silly and stupid. I've come so far to fall so hard, and in the end, it doesn't even matter. Like, what the fuck ever, dude? Like, boo friggity hoo. Fucking terrible shit. So, anyway, that's that. Glad we got that out of the way. I know I'm an insensitive prick. God rest his soul, whatever his name is, but at least we know now that that shit doesn't have to keep going on. So, damn, Mage. Such a prick. I know. I am. Number 9 on the list. Not going to get any, nicer. Number 9 on the list is that fucking terrible band Disturbed. In all fairness, the guy that sings for the band Disturbed has got a set of pipes on him. I'll say that much. Like, the dude, he maybe in his past was like singing for a real, awesome band or a real great outfit doing something. I don't know. You can tell the guy has a really professional, fine-tuned set of vocal cords and can really get it out. But I mean, these baboon grunts mixed in with this, like, again, just kind of one note on the guitar, just down with the sickness, baboon grunting, ridiculous shit. It's just ridiculous. And then they, hopping around on the stage and jumping up and down, playing one note, just sounds like fucking shit. I don't know, man. I can't get behind it. And everyone's like, oh, it's so, it's metal and they're being really artistic because he brings out a grand piano and sings a Simon & Garfunkel song. Isn't that odd? No, it's not. It's not impressive. It's not artistic. It's like, big fucking deal, dude. I don't know. I don't get it. Number 9's Disturbed. One of the most terrible bands in American rock and roll history. So that's my opinion and I'm sticking to it. Yeah. Gonna lighten things up a little bit here. Lighten it up. Oh, I'm not gonna lighten up. I'm still gonna be a complete asshole. But we're gonna lighten up the tunes a little bit on the lighter side of rock and roll here. What the fuck is with that band, Kings of Leon? Why the fuck does everyone like that band? Singer just like half out of tune, completely pitchless most of the time. I guess they're a band of brothers. They're from a place called Leon, and they're all kings of said place. I don't know. They can fuck off, man. They're fucking, it's rock and roll, like, for college girls. For real. Like, it's seriously, like, the kind of rock music, like, when a girl is kind of like, yeah, I fucking really like rock and roll, too. I mean, I mostly listen to hip-hop, but I can really get down on some fucking Kings of Leon. Like, for real. Every time he sings that Something Like You song. Anyway. Kings of Leon, go fuck yourself. You're terrible. Get out. So, that was fun. Moving along, number 7. Number 7 on the list. Oh, I'm not going to even talk too long about this because they have got to be just about the most embarrassing, ridiculous excuse for a rock band pretty much ever. Insane Clown Posse. I mean, are they really even a band, or is it just kind of like a cult? Like it's just, they just have a following of a bunch of white trash idiots that just drink malt liquor and get trashed and throw up on each other and yeah, I don't know, man. It doesn't make any sense to me. This shock rock thing and the stage theatrics and the clown makeup, and it's like, but people have been doing it like for decades upon decades upon decades, like fucking Kiss and Alice Cooper and like whatever. Like, I mean, that shit was started 45 years ago, and how it's still, this gimmick is still going strong and still ropes in all these dumb fucking kids. I don't get it. But then dump a bunch of malt liquor down their throat, like I said, and wow, you have a cult following, and you're making millions of dollars. So whatever, fuck those guys. What a bunch of idiots. Fucking absolute douchebaggery personified. So yeah, I don't need to talk much longer about that. There's that. In the same vein, in the same Mudvayne, talking about more of the same, just shock rock, ridiculous, painted up faces and spiky hair and one note guitar riffs, just head banging, just like drums with like massive amounts of just triggers on all the drums, so you're just hearing just like ridiculous blast beats that these guys physically technically can't even play because it's just hooked up to triggered fucking drum mics, and it's just like, what a bunch of just ridiculous crap. I don't know. I can't get on with this like shock rock shit and this gimmicky horse shit. Like, I totally get why people love and adore bands like Kiss, because they're, back then, I mean, it was just such a cool thing. And then throughout the years, it just became so charming and became part of American rock and roll culture. And it's just like awesome. But riding on the coattails of that, specifically just for the shock value end of everything, like, how pathetic and stupid, And in my opinion, like those insane clown posses and the Mudvaynes and stuff, is just like, dude, get fucked. Like, take that shit elsewhere. Fucking terrible. Yeah, number 6 on the most terrible bands of rock bands of all time, Mudvayne. All right, getting up into the top 5 arena. I hope I haven't been too hateful and nasty. You folks are probably turning the channel by now, but maybe some of you folks can agree with some of this stuff I'm saying. So yeah, like I said, it's all in fun and games. Just wanted to do a goofy episode for you tonight. So this one's probably going to piss a lot of people off. Right on. Number 5 on my list of the most terrible rock bands of all time is Blink 182. Yeah, fuck those guys. Those guys just, I mean, when it comes to the musical aspect of things and like kind of the technical side of things, those guys can play their instruments at least. Like they're somewhat ingenuitive, but it's just, again, the same fucking fast cookie cutter bullshit skate rock mixed with a bunch of just lowbrow potty humor, and just people were just lapping that shit up like it was just fucking malt liquor in the late 90s and the early 2000s. Just those guys, they just remind me of every fucking idiot at the bar that was just like yammering like loud as can be across the whole room and just like would not shut the fuck up. You know how I'm talking? That guy who just talks for an hour straight at the pub and is loud as fuck and is just talking to hear himself talk, saying absolutely nothing of any value or worth or of any, not saying anything funny, Blink 82 is that guy in the musical sense. Yeah, just a bunch of idiots playing some really mediocre skate rock, all that stuff. I just couldn't. There was very few like pop punk and skate rock type of bands in the 90s that I could really get on board with. All the NoFX and Blink 182 and just all that. Ugh, just fucking horrible. Yeah. Anyway, not a fan of those guys. Okay, moving along here. Number four on the list of most terrible rock bands of all time. Yeah, Limp Bizkit. First of all, probably one of the worst band names of all time. Riding the coattails of that whole, mashup genre, nu metal mixed with rap thing that happened in the early 90s. Right, a million bands riding the coattails of Rage Against the Machine. And I mean, I'll even say with Rage Against the Machine, it got a little bit played out. I mean, not really, dude. The Battle of Los Angeles, like, that album was still fucking sick. But I mean, all it did was just, like I said, just spawn this whole crazy subgenre of just trash rap metal, it just, Fred Durst, man, get fucked. The nookie, you did it all for the nookie, like, take the cookie and stick it up your ass. What the fuck are you talking about? And then when that guy covered a Who song, I was just like, this is over for me. Like, I'm done with this fucking decade. I just like put the blinders on and I was like, I'm just gonna take my Tool albums and I'm just gonna take my Radiohead albums and I'm just gonna fucking head for the hills. Like, the only thing that saved me was just kind of like all these like interesting like indie, these indie rock artists that kind of just like were coming out of the woodwork at that time in the early 2000s. I just like found myself like getting into bands like Fish, where I'm just like, I just want to listen to Fish and Brendan Benson, like, I'm fucking done with rock and roll. It's just so awful. And the places and the avenues it was going, it was just scaring the hell out of me. So yeah, Limp Bizkit, go fuck yourself. Terrible band. Horrible band. I'm glad that those guys actually did me a solid and basically poof disappeared off the face of the planet come like 2010 maybe. Like, haven't heard fucking shit about them, so thank goodness for that. All right, getting into the top three here. Top three, again, more of that nu metal horseshit, shock rock, spiky haired, paint your face, one note guitar riff, splatter drums, like, oh, let's put a fucking goat head on the album cover with a pentagram and bam, it's sold. And we got just the new awesome, another shot. I mean, this was just billions upon billions of dollars for the music industry. It's just like, of course they're going to keep pouring, tons of money into this just like this garbage rock, this white trash garbage bin rock, and Slipknot, dude. Slipknot is just kind of the epitome of all that. It's just like that disgusting stew of horrible rock and roll music, kind of mashed up with a little bit of kind of the rap rock turntable stuff. And I kind of have a little bit of throw up in my mouth just thinking about it. Yeah, so that's that. Yeah, spewer of hate. That's what I am. Purveyor of all things hateful. Number 2 on my list of the most reviled, terrible bands of the 90s. Horrible bands of the 90s. Number 2, with a bullet, Matchbox 20. Fuck you guys. You're horrible. Rob Thomas, terrible singer. Took that whole idea of what all these male artist singers thought they could do, and they thought they could all just have that deep baritone. They all wanted to sound like Eddie Vedder, and they all wanted to sound like whatever. He just, throw a bunch of yogurt in your mouth and just sing a bunch of songs about your ex-girlfriend while you're choking on yogurt. Fucking pierce both your ears. Good for you, pretty boy. Oh, dude, what a horrible 3 a.m. I must be lonely. Ugh. Yeah, just like got that whole thing. Like, he's just, like I said, just ripping off all those 90s artists who actually had unique voices that took the time to, like, kind of, farm their vocal presence and like really cultivate it, and just like like Ed Vedder and like Ed Kowalczyk from the band Live, and stuff like that. Like those were good singers, and yeah, they had that weird kind of like yogurt in your voice kind of throaty thing, but it was theirs. And then along comes Rob Thomas from Matchbox 20 and singing a song about, she says that love is a mat that sleeps on her doorway. It's like, dude, get fucked. Go home. Ugh. Another one of those bands, thank God. Like right around 2010, they're just like, poof. Thank goodness. Matchbox 20. Get fucked. All right. Short and sweet tonight. Major's unpopular opinion. I don't like to drown on, go on too long about all this, because people just kind of like, yeah, you know what I mean. But I have a special mention for you. I have to bring this band up because I had 10 on my list, and then there was this one, and I was just like, I can't get away without bringing these guys up, because these guys, they make me want to put a fucking gun in my mouth. I shouldn't joke about this shit. I'm sorry. I keep joking about all these really dark subjects that are very touchy and sensy. But yeah, these guys talk about the epitome of just sad, sappy, boring as fuck, contrived, just ineffectual, just no unique quality to this music, and just nothing to offer the world, which is even unfortunate because there's so many people. They have like kind of a cult following. There's so, especially all those kind of like Trustafarian hippie dipshits from like the late 90s and early 2000s, like all those fucking idiots that were wearing Teva sandals, hanging around, they moved from like a city or like from Texas or Colorado to Eugene just to be even more hippie than they were back there. These fucking idiots that just worshipped and loved Counting Crows. Fucking Counting Crows, dude. What a horrible band. Nothing they sang about, nothing they did musically, all of it, like I said, just ineffectual horse pucky. Just absolute horse pucky. So yeah, fuck Counting Crows. Horrible band. Horrible band. I won't go off. All right, folks. Well, thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I'll button it up here. Me and my hateful ass. But number one on this list, like again, we were talking about the years kind of 1997 to 2003. This guy was just everywhere, all over that. He put his indelible stink, and still to this day, puts it all over the rock industry. I'm talking about the king of douchebaggery himself, Kid Rock. I remember the first time I heard Kid Rock, and the bob with the bob, dang dong, whatever. I said to myself, it's fucking over, dude. It's over. What's that great song? Who wrote that song? Was it Donovan? Oh no, it wasn't Donovan. It was the Day the Music Died. Bye Bye Miss American Pie. Who the fuck was that? Oh, I feel like an idiot now that I can't figure that out. But yeah, the year was like 1998, and I was like, Kid Rock. My name is Kid Ba with the Ba. It's fucking over. This is the day. This is the day the music died. I cashed in my chips, pushed myself away from the table. And like I said, it was only another year or so before I was like, I'm just going to take all this that I've learned about and all these things, and I'm going to go hide in my room. Yeah. And the moron just continues to pervade the music industry and popular culture and fucking politics, hanging out with presidents and shit. Like, good God, what is the world coming to? I wouldn't be surprised to see him on a ticket in the future. You know what I mean? Like, Kid Rock for, he'll be running for vice president. He'll be VP with, I don't know, some other fucking ass hat, but whatever. Talk about the king of all king ass hats. Kid Rock has got to be, in my opinion, the worst rock artist in the last 25 years that it's been since he reared his ugly fucking head. So, hoping to God I don't ever have to hear his music anywhere ever again. It hasn't been around. I don't think I've heard it in any grocery stores yet. I've never heard it in a record store. I've never heard it in any other public places, thank God. Even on the radio. My daughter listens to popular radio now, rock radio and pop radio. I haven't heard it on that. So let's keep it that way. Let's keep it that way, America. Keep it real. Keep Kid Rock off of the airwaves. Keep him off your TV. Keep him out of your homes. Don't answer the door to Kid Rock, folks. All right, everybody. Thanks again for sitting down and having some fun with me and letting me try to make you laugh. I hope I at least got a chuckle or two out of one or two of you folks. So, again, this has been your pal Mage here at the Square to Circle Music Channel talking about the worst era of rock and roll imaginable and my top 10 most terrible bands. So, thanks again. Like and subscribe. Peace be with you, motherfuckers.